Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm the executive chef of Finicky Catering. I've been with Dawn for about 3 years now. Today we are going to make a pulled pork mac and cheese and a jalapeno popper mac and cheese. And we'll start with the pork butt. We need to marinate this. Start by slicing this. We will put a little bit of liquid smoke. And then we have a smoky seasoning that we make. It's like a Memphis seasoning. So you'll sprinkle some of that. Get on the inside of it. You want to put quite a bit of it because you'll use the liquid after to make your sauce. I'm going to put enough water, about halfway. Then you want to first saran wrap it, nice and tight. And foil. And then you put it in the oven at like 400 for at least anywhere between 4.5 to 6 hours, depending. And we'll let that cook. And now we're gonna make the cheese sauce for the pulled pork. And that one is the mild cheddar. So we'll start with a block and we'll grate this down. You'll need a few cups of the cheese. We'll start with that. And then if you have to, you just add a little more cheese. And then you add your heavy cream. Put that on low. We can make the coleslaw that will go on top. So we have some shredded cabbage, carrots, and a house dressing, which is an apple cider vinaigrette coleslaw dressing. And then you just mix this. And we'll let that sit. All right, we just cooked the pulled pork for about 6 hours. It's done, so now you want to take it and skim the fat off the top. And you'll just take it and leave it in larger chunks. When it's done, it should be nice and tender and just fall apart. This is everyone's favorite, the pulled pork. And you want to save the liquid because we will make our sauce with that. And your cheese will start to slowly melt and just keep it stirring. And then you want to take some of your liquid and one of your favorite barbecue sauces. And I always add a little bit more of the dry rub to the liquid. And then some of the barbecue. Just stir this until the dry rub dissolves. You want to have it slightly running so that way you can pour it over your pulled pork, and that's when you'll pull it apart a little bit. Pour that over it. Then you'll mix that in. You want to do that by hand so you can pull some of it apart. And then we'll put some into a saute pan to heat up. Put that on the stove. It's starting to thicken. And if you ever put too much cheese, you could always add a little more cream to it. And you want to save a little more of the shredded cheddar for when you're mixing your mac and cheese together, so it gets that nice stringy look to it. And then while you're doing this, you want to cook your mac and cheese, the pasta, which we will be using the tortolli pasta, and that is this one. It's great for mac and cheese. You want to use one that will hold the cheese sauce. So we can drop some of our pasta. And now you can smell this. It smells amazing. I'll add some cheese. Give that a good stir. Once it cools, it'll start to get a little thicker on you. Nice healthy bowl of mac and cheese. And then we'll take our pulled pork. And then with the leftover barbecue sauce. And then you want to top it with your coleslaw. And there you go. You've got pulled pork mac and cheese. All right, now we're gonna start with our jalapeno popper mac and cheese. So I'm gonna start with our applewood smoked bacon. We'll start off by cooking this. I'm gonna cook that about 400 for about 10 minutes, and we'll check it. And then we'll wanna start grating our sharp cheddar. And this is an extra sharp cheddar that we're gonna be using. And like with the other one, you'll need a few cups to start with, and then you can keep adding. And then we'll add some heavy cream. You want to make sure you put that on low. So you put just enough cream to cover it. And let that melt down. And then while that's melting, we will cut the jalapeno. And then we'll saute those. Just add a little bit of oil. And you want to saute those until they're a little al dente, with a little bit of crisp to it. Make sure you keep an eye on your cheese sauce. And while that's going, we'll start the panko. So you want to toast your panko. I'm using a seasoned panko. And we'll take that and we'll toast this up. With the panko, you need to make sure once it starts to brown, you want to keep moving it around, because otherwise you will burn it. Keep an eye on your bacon. Can you smell the jalapeno? You can start seeing the seeds starting to brown, so we're almost there. We'll shut that off and just let it sit. And I'll finish cooking itself. So that's a good coloring right there. And then our panko's starting to turn, so this is when you take it off and just stay above the heat, because this can turn really fast. And then we'll let that sit for a few minutes. Now I can smell the bacon. I feel like the extra sharp, you always need a little more cheese in it. And if it gets too sharp, some people just add a mild. Okay. So we're almost there. Probably another like 2 minutes, because you want it nice and crispy, because you're gonna put that on top. So we shut off the cheese, we'll let that sit for a few minutes. All right, so here's the bacon. You can put as much bacon as you'd like. Pour some of the cheese in there. And then we'll add the other cheese. So if you'd like, you can add a little bit of your jalapenos into it. That, and then you take your bacon, and we'll sprinkle this on top. And then you take some more of your jalapenos right on top. And then we'll take your panko. And that gives it the crisp of the outside of the jalapeno popper. And there you are. Jalapeno popper. My favorite.